Okay. All right. It shows that my microphone is working, which is great. And I'm going to pop into the browser window real quick. One of the browser windows. I'm so many browser windows. Make sure that I'm live. And that it works. I got it muted, so give me a second to flip that up. Okay. I can hear myself. So I am kind of quiet. Sometimes it gets very loud. Um, and then when I'm doing things, it's only my voice that you can hear, and some other areas. Anyway, sorry about being a minute late. I was looking through some documents um, so that I could be on the ball for some of this. I'm going to move some more windows kind of out of the way on the side here. Okay, so I can see a chat. Hopefully, I don't miss if anybody says anything. Um, so this week, um, we're gonna do the bootstrap, try to get the menu, the navigation kind of worked out, um, and then do some styles for the footer, then content and images, and we'll work on some divs for that to be size dynamic based on the layout, and then we'll work on a form, week 15, and we'll get into some JavaScript for that. So we should probably hop right to it. Um, I pulled up the file now um, with the footer and the menu at the top. I think at the time I didn't have the file linked correctly, but I'm not 100% sure. So here we go. So, or maybe the style was off just enough that I'm trying to figure out why it says it hasn't been saved. Well, I guess I'll save it and see if it changes anything. Okay, so in the browser over here, this one. I also have pulled up that responsive band page because it has some good HTML as far as style sheets and navigation. These are anchor links. We're going to go to different pages, but it's a good foundation reference that you can go to that has a bunch of different things with pictures and things like that. Um, so I think what I had to do for that, I had done all of these colors and it wasn't showing up. I'm trying to remember what I did, or maybe I fixed it at the very end. How you like that? It's been a week. Easter and all the sugar has been an awful lot. Let me tell you, it's tough to be avoiding the sugar and yet still having more candy in the house than is good for anyone. So we'll get right to it. This needs to move over one. All right. So in our um, index page, we have our nav with our rows, our ULs and our LIs, but we're really going to go into our style sheet to get rid of that um, this dot in front of it and kind of manage that navigation. So that's what we're going to work on right now. So inside our styles, we're going to add our UL. And your style can be different than mine on this. We don't have any sort of periods or anything because it's a um, universal class. So we're going to set the list style to be none. Now, if you want to have a list later on, or list type to be none, if you wanted to have a bulleted list later on, if you look in here, we have nav before it and then our UL. So you can go here and say nav space UL, and then that will be only that navigation UL targeted through the whole thing. So then your other ULs will have dots that you can assign um, in whatever way you want. So then we're going to add our margin and our padding, and we're going to do an overflow hidden. And this is if you put a lot of words in the space and the space doesn't hold them. So like if you make buttons that have like a complete sentences, if it overruns the space, then they won't be able to see them. And then we want to do a figure out what color we want it to be. So if we want our background color, we don't want it to be the background color because that's already the color that's there. So we're going to take that from up there. And we have a very dark blue for the hover, a bright blue. Our background color is already this. It's very light. Oh, sorry. We'll do dash dash header color. I think we didn't need an extra color. I'm going to call it BG light, and I'm going to make it. See, this is not as light of a blue as it could be. So to make a light blue, I'm popping over to that color thing. Oh, that is very light. That might be good. Okay. There's a and this is almost white. I gotta capitalize it for Unity, so it's all the same. Okay. So if I save that, oh, it's not gonna work yet because I don't have this. So we're going to copy our variation color and copy in BG light. And it'll be nice, especially if you do like almost that Polaroid white edge around it. If I want to do that with the pictures, that could look really nice. Okay, so then all right, and then for our LI, which, oops, not capital. I think I have a chip under that key. You might see lots of LLLs. We're going to display inline block. And then for each of our little links, copy all of this. But we're going to put an A. And then you can also do a hover if you want to add like a bold effect or an underline effect. I think I'm going to make them underline for this example. And we already have a very dark blue for an A hover. So that should work. So it's a lighter blue. They are now underlined and the dot has gone away in front of it. So then if we wanted to, so make this narrower, then they stack on mobile. So then somebody's car tires just burned out. Oh, let me go back onto the thing. Yes, I will post the video on YouTube with a link directly to it. So it'll be there forever. And you can slow it down. And if you're like, hey, what did you do here? Or what was the code there? I know I have a really big screen. I can take pictures of the code and snip it to you. Um, you can freeze the screen and see what it was. It's totally acceptable. So I want to make a hover effect. And I think I'm going to make this permanently the hover effect, the very dark blue. Because then we can do this and make it be the hover effect. Oh, it's missing a semicolon. I was like, why is that so bold? Hover effect. There. Oh, there we go. I'll change that. And then maybe we don't want it to be underlined. And then you can say none. And then you can add a font weight. And normal font weight is like 400. So you can say font weight of 700. And that's pretty close to a bold. Specifying the numbers kind of helps when screens are in some sort of modified mode for people who have any sort of visibility or whatever going on. Then if it knows that it's supposed to be bold, um, and it says, okay, this is this much bolder, and it increments or decrements. And if you have it where the font gets bigger and smaller, it can do that. Bold and bolder also do similar. So, all right, and then now it gets bold and it goes away. And it goes into that dark, dark blue. So we have that done. So then there's ways to add borders. You're very welcome. There's ways to add borders to make them look like a button. Um, and we can use border right and obviously border left. Um, but when you're on left, you want it to like always be the first child kind of a thing. So we can say first child, because now we're not referencing the A tag within it. We are referencing the LI right there. And then we'll want to do a border left, 1 pixel solid, and let's do the background color. Maybe we do it 3 pixels solid. Um, and these kind of look like they could be more like buttons. I think I want to, I think I might want to move this padding. Oh, I copied it, didn't I? I meant to add the hover, and then I totally skipped out. I totally skipped out on what I was thinking there, I guess. All right, maybe I copied it twice. I think there's still a chip in that part of the keyboard. All right, so padding is 14 by 6, 14 top and bottom. That doesn't look like 14 top and bottom. Let's, I feel like there should be more space. There we go. Now they're chunkier, which is great. Okay. And text align center. We can also text align center up here. There, that looks better. So then we have our line that should match the background. We have a big old chunky line, hopefully. Hopefully. No, we don't see it. Oh, it's border left. It's all the way over here. So now we do need to do the border for the whole thing. So then we say copy this because it's going to be border right for all of these. And we change it to right and then save it and then refresh. And then we get these in here. Now, there's things you can do with like the radius of the LI. I don't want to get too much into the buttons. We can play with the buttons more. I want to give you the kind of the foundations to be able to display your stuff. All right, so Wings of Whimsy, which is our title over here. H1. Um, I am going to say that it should be text align center. That looks good. And then we had, so then the H1 will be centered for everything. And then we have our navigation up at the top. And then we have our main section, which has our introduction. It doesn't have a whole lot in there at the moment. And I feel like I should put some space in there just so that the footer is all the way down at the footer. For our footer color, we should do a background color of the dark blue, I think. For the font color. I know, here I am messing it all up. So and then we want the color to be very light because it'll be a dark background. So we can make it. Ha! That's the announcement to do this. That's so funny. Okay. And then text align, center. Oh, that's very dark. Very dark, dark, dark. I changed my mind. That was terrible. Oh, yep, you can barely see it bad because it's the font color for the A link, which makes it rough. You can also set it so that this will have a text decoration of underline for any A links. And that is universally accepted to mean that there is a URL or that there is a URL attached to that. So that's fine to do. And then let's see. There is a JavaScript thing to add to the nav at some point that will change the background color to match the page that you're on. Um, that'll show you when we get into the JavaScript a little bit more. So then, let's see. Let's go into here. This is a pretty good template for all of our pages. So the trick with this is you're going to copy it and then paste it in, and then um, we're going to, so if this is my about page, it will be about instead of introduction, and then, so it can be about the author, which would be you. It could be about the subject, if it's a subject or a location or something like the game information, that sort of thing. Um, and then the same with contact. And then we're going to say contact. Well, us is the normal business thing, but you can say contact me, and then we'll put a form in here. Forms, we're going to do that next week, I think, so I won't spoil it for you. So now if I click the About page, it looks about the author. It looks pretty similar. Contact takes us here. Um, so we'll go back to the home page, the index page, and I'm going to add in a couple of pictures and from my folder. So let me find my folder. Documents. Images. Let me see. There. Okay. So I have 5 butterflies. Now, if I want to display them um, in it's kind of a table layout where there's information about one and an image on the other, um, we can do that. So let me think about this real quick. I think so if we do that, that creates a column that is 50% when it is a large screen or a medium screen, and then on a small or extra small screen, it stacks the two columns. So this way we can put the picture and the image right next to each other, and so it will do that. So it'll be this way for the row, or you can do multiples and then they'll all stack in the single row. Um, some people prefer to put multiple ones in a row, all in the same row because the space between them is smaller, or you can um, make several rows. So unfortunately, I only have 5 pictures. Um, and I'm going to need to get some content for my first thing. So I'm going to do a little Googling because I don't know a whole lot about butterflies, specifically the blue ones. All right. But while we're waiting for the, I don't know why my internet is so close or so slow today. Um, image source. And then we have to open our quotes and go to the slash images because that's where the pictures are. And then we need to name, we need to name the whole name. Um, let's see. So if you copy that and paste it in, preferably with no spaces, um, that should bring up the picture. And then if you want to use a Bootstrap class, there's a nice image fluid rounded that works really good. But there's a bunch of them. You can check out the Bootstrap documentation. So we're going to put an alt text because that is a requirement, especially if the picture doesn't show up. Blue butterfly in a resting position. On. This also helps if somebody who has difficulty seeing and uses a screen reader, um, helps them understand what's going on the page. So let's see. Do I have a morpho? I don't have a morpho. I might change the names, but that's okay. I'm going to say red cracker or a mazarine blue. Both of those will work there. All right. And none of them are in the tropical rainforest. I should probably make this guy the one that's next to it, right? And then capitalize his proper name. Oh, I better pull up the... All right, make sure nobody's asking questions. I don't want to be ignoring them. All right, so I'm going to copy this guy's name. Actually, first, I'm going to move him down to here. And then I'm going to copy this guy's name and put him here. Since I mentioned the red cracker, I will put him right there, right underneath the sentence. So, and we're going to call him a, oops, there we go. Oh, he was in a field of flowers. The other guy, this guy is on a leaf. Red cracker, red cracker, blue butterfly. What a funny name. Oh, there we go. Leave me alone. Sorry, just kidding. All right, so then we can also copy it again. Oh, it's already there. Never mind. We're just going to copy the image and put it in there. So hopefully these two. Then we do their description, which is a spotted butterfly. on a yellow flower. And then this guy is a black and blue spotted butterfly. On a stem in a field. There we go. Just so it's a little bit more interesting. So then, ha! Sorry, see my game notifications. I should probably hide that somehow. Anyway, oh, the window. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's no good. What has happened? Oh, I'm on the contact page. Ha! There we go. All right, so we see what we have done. Okay, is a dot slash? No. Images. That is where it is. So this is good because then I can show you how to troubleshoot this. So here we have a picture that doesn't show up. So if we inspect it, we see that it says images, file images, Mezzarine blue butterfly 1920 JPEG. Okay, so it is in the file. Here's my index file with all the broken butterflies, and then images, and then the names of the pictures. Okay, let me think about this for a second. I think that takes us, oops, not the I. I think that makes it be A. They used to call it a hard link and not a soft link. It is not a, why can't I think of the word? Symbolic link, which is not the same thing that you guys would know today. Why can't I think of what it's called? I think this will do it. It is based on its location, which is good. Now, I had done it from the root of the directory. And so here they show up. So, yes, so it was going to the images directory. So if we did that now, that was good. So here, they're all kind of like extra big now, right? Like they're so clunky as far as stuff goes. This one especially, but the little curves are nice. So we go back to our styles and we're going to above our footer because we want to try to keep things in a nice organized fashion. We're going to put, so that's how you comment in a CSS file is that slash and a star. Badfish is just going to keep going in and out and in and out. Wow, I don't know why. That's what he does. Image styles. Oh, sorry, that is the wrong thing. There you go. And then you end it with a star and a slash. These are the two important parts. The stars in the middle are just so it catches your eye as you go down so that you know you're looking at your image styles. So then let me see, how big do we want our images to be? That is a good question. So this one tall one might be a bit of a hassle. All right, so I think we want to say IMG and then do the width of, we'll start with 300 and see how that goes. Oh, I hit the O. And then the height, which we may have some issues with this butterfly down here. We'll see how it goes and we'll fix it if we need to. 200 px. Then we want to make the object fit be cover, and then that'll cover it over the space. And then our object position will be center. So hopefully what this will do is it'll put the butterfly in the middle. And then we close that, save it. Let's see what it does for us. Oh, okay. So it has given them the width of 300, but their height is still quite variable. These are both pretty tall, aren't they? Let's try overflow hidden. Nope, because the image itself is just, it's just happy to be there. All right. So this last one is really big. I think if we, oh, I don't think this is going to help us. Oh, there it goes. He's a little bit smaller now. It's almost like the height didn't take anything into consideration. So if we go here and we look, oh, right here. Oh, image fluid, the height is auto, and the max width is 100. That is my problem right there. So I'm going to take this image fluid around out, unless I want to resize all my images. And you may want your images to be extra big. There we go. That's got some space in between them. So on our rows, in your style, if you want space between your rows, which I think I want here, and then you can also do like an outline around the images as well. So just say row padding. Maybe. Oh, class. My bad. Period in front of the row. There we go. And now we got a little bit of a gap. And so now the pictures are all the same size because I took off that image fluid. Now, if you have pictures of different sizes and you want them to be that way, go right ahead. And have it be image fluid, and it'll make it as big as it can on the page, and then you don't need to do a whole lot with this image on the back end. If you're an image intensive page with a lot of pictures and you want them to all be, if they're all relatively the same size when you start, so like if somebody's taken a bunch of pictures with their cell phone and they're all the same basic height and width, then you can do something with this image tag or even add the class in front of it. So if it's like a photo gallery, you could do photo, period photo gallery for the class and then the image and then set the style for that specifically. So then, trying to think, I got some button styling up there. I think this needs a little bit of some space, and I think the H1 could use some space. So I'm going to give that some padding. And then remember, it starts at the top and it works like a clock. So the top is the first one, and then the right hand side is the second number, the bottom is the third number, and the left hand side is the fourth number. Or if you just want top and bottom, you just start at the top with the first number, or sorry, if you want the top and the bottom to be the same and the left and right to be the same, then you only need two numbers, which is the first number is the top and bottom, and then the second number is the right and the left. So I think all around that could probably use a padding of 10 pixels. And then I think the same for this H2, maybe even uh, 20 pixels at the top because it looks a little crunched up there. Oops. And then 10 pixels, and then 10 pixels, and then like that. And if we save it, it spaces it out a little bit more. We have a little bit more breadth. Um, if we want to align the images within the div, then we can see if that works. There's a class in Bootstrap, and I'm trying to remember what it is. Let me go look real quick. Double check nobody's talking. Okay. Oh, we can use Flexbox. We could get into that. Or we can do the Bootstrap grid system. All right. We could do that. Align items center. Let's see. Did that do any good there? Container row, column small. Container, grid options, auto. And this may be smart enough to know how to do all that stuff without me adding call to it, but I don't know if it really is. All right. And then container row, call, call. Okay. I'm trying to get this to be centered. That is what I'm trying to do. All right. Let's try. My employee would say, just use Flexbox. He's very Flexbox oriented, which is great. Oh, on the row. I think I see what I'm doing wrong here. See, he's a genius. We do this. Save that. Well, that lined up. These not so much. Horizontal. Oh, justify content center. Okay, we could do that too. What do it says? to use Flexbox and not the grid. Oh, there we go. Justify content center. Place it on the row to center all child columns. Okay. Don't think it's doing what I want it to do. No, that didn't do it either. This is the not to this is the worst thing ever when it comes to uh, pictures is center or pictures is trying to figure out how to center them. Um, divs, columns, cards. We can say MX Auto. I think I need to be in the div. Hey, there we go. That's a little bit better. Now, which one did it is the question. All right. Save. Oh, yep, MX Auto. Okay. I'll take that out. But you can look at all those templates that they have for Bootstrap and figure out exactly what it is that you want to use to make your web page look like how you want it to look. Save, refresh. Oh, moved it over a little bit. Then we'll do a little bit of um, editing on the author page and put the form in with some JavaScript. Um, oh, and if we go into the inspect, let me pop this out this way. That is not what it's supposed to do. So, responsive design. All right. There we go. I don't know why I did that in Brave when I went into the inspect window, because it would do it here. So the menu stacks, the pictures all stack. The space does go away between them though. But that just proves that the call LG would work for that. And then when it gets too small, we used to have to name them all individually. It's a bad habit of mine. All right. Well, I will put the recording up. So we have the Bootstrap bundle JavaScript, yeah, that matches from our Bootstrap course. Put that in, and we put our style sheet below it so that our styles overtake their styles. And then once you get your top and your bottom of your pages, your header and your footer, how you like them, you can copy them into your other pages and then change the names and have it be whatever the 3 pages are that you want. And I will work on the form and fool a bit more with the pictures um, for the about the author, and then that's pretty much it. So hopefully this was helpful. Um, it's just tedious, I guess. But hit me up if you have any questions. Oh my gosh, my mouse went crazy. If you have any questions, you can email me, send me screenshots of code. You can send me your files. If it gives you any grief trying to email it to me, you can change it to a TXT file to send it. Um, and if you send me an email, I don't know if you can send it through Blackboard, but if you send me an email to my work email, you may want to message me in Blackboard that you did it, just in case it tries to block it as spam or thinks that it's malicious or put you guys in like they're trying to sell you something folder, um, the junk mail, and I can look at it. Um, and I will post a question so you guys can answer it as far as what we're working on this week with the Bootstrap. All right. Have a great day.